Hello world, it's Irene. Back from the weekend. I had a good one. I managed to not get sunburned somehow. Spent a lot of time outside, been some cool places. Um, didn't get a ton done, actually on the weekend, but today I've managed to catch up a little tiny bit. I only had a couple hours again, so really my wondrous time schedule I think was really ambitious. So I'm still going to aim to get this done by the end of this week. Um, but it's gonna just depend on how much real life I have to do. So, so what did I get done? Well, I scripted, and it turned out my biggest foible here was the camera movement. So I created the character, of course. I have all of the meshes, all of the uh, what am I thinking? All the assets imported in. So I have all my maze pieces, and I just have a little like demonstration part here. And then I positioned the camera, and it looks lovely. And I thought all I'd have to do is kind of modify like character follow scripts that I have in the past. It was slightly more complicated, but it's not too bad. Just because the way that I want it to move uh, I've talked about this before. I want the camera to kind of follow the character along the path of the corridor, but not as it kind of. So, like this first level, I'm imagining that the corridor goes vertically up and down. So I want the camera to move up and down, but not left to right. And then the character's just going to move around in that frame. But it worked. I did also get the animations working, which isn't too hard, but it's this weird thing where uh, is suddenly you're doing visual scripting and it looks a lot more like Unreal than Unity. But that's fine. So I have my idle state that's moving right now. And if I push a button inside the game, that it'll transition over to the walking state, which lets it do like a cute little walking animation. And you can see I do have the vertical camera movement, so I can move left and right. I can even go off the screen right now. I'm going to obviously put a box around him, and the camera's going to be further out than this, but I just wanted to make this happen. It does all the things that you tell it to do here. There's actually some check boxes I should get rid of here. Like I do not need cameras and lights and things like that. But so all of this has to do with how are you importing the model. And so I can tell Unity, please, when you import the model and generate that FBX, also give it a collider. And so the collider, now that I've done that, actually conforms to the entire maze structure. Whereas if I just add it in Unity, then it just generates like a box and it says that box is the thing that you collide with. Colliders are invisible, so you wouldn't be able to tell. Oh, well, I've still got a little bit of. I also have some strange physics going on where this one I'm probably going to fix tomorrow. You can see now it's collided with a wall too hard and it thinks it's drifting. So that's something that I'm fixing. This is not me making it move. It's decided that now it's had a collision, and the collision was enough of an impact that it's now using Unity's physics engine to say you should, you know, now bounce off of that wall because it's collision. Um, so that's the other thing that I did, and again, it's not much, but on the character I can add. In the rigid body, I can add a material, and so I just created this collider material that literally just says do nothing. And I guess I can only do like a minimum on it. I can't do zero bounce combine, which bounce combine is kind of what it sounds like. It's like, do you bounce? Not really, is what I'm saying. Uh, so I kind of need to fix this still. It mostly works until it doesn't, and that's just something you don't want happening in the middle. You've been playing this game for 10 minutes and suddenly you can't control your character. That's a terrible thing to happen. So that's on my list of things for tomorrow is let me just make sure that I'm not going to start bouncing off walls. Because honestly, that's very unexpected. It doesn't happen. And then I hit a corner. It seems like it happens when I hit corners. I'll have to play with it. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I obviously need to move the camera out, but that's just a matter of coming to the scene. and grabbing my camera and just pulling it up. So, that's one good reason to use engines like Unity is everything is so visual and so topical. Um, you know, in in a lot of computer science courses, which I just finished a computer science degree. So yay me, I graduated. Um, a lot of the courses they like to talk about like early computing and the history of computing and early animations like Tron is one that fascinates me. Tron, the movie, the first one, not the new one with like, the weird deepfake stuff with with Jeff Bridges. Deepfake Jeff Bridges was a little bit uncanny valley. But the like old 80s Tron, they did animation using spreadsheets and math, and they just would do the calculations and then put in the spread, they put in their big huge matrix, which is essentially a spreadsheet, and hit calculate and then leave for the night and come back and hope that your you know 15-second animation ran because it was going to take another 10 hours to fix it if it didn't. So we're this we've come a long way is what I'm saying here, where in order to do the animations and move stuff around I just have to click a button. So kudos to those early game designers, animators, computer people who did all the cool things so that I don't have to. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate that this is the legacy that you've left. And in the future, there will be something better than Unity, or there will be a better Unity, or something like that. There's probably going to be a better Unity. So, yeah. So that's my accomplishments for today, and my 2 cents on the history of game development and game engines that allow you to do relatively complex stuff with relative ease. So, yeah. So that'll be it for me for tonight. I'm thinking I might make some other design videos here, but I'm gonna see what kind of time I have because obviously it's been a busy weekend, and that leads to a couple days of just like making up for your busy weekend. So, anyways, thank you so much for watching. As usual, like and describe and describe and subscribe. I promise you, in the future, I know that my sound and my video quality is not amazing. In the future, I'm going to have better. I'm kind of working with the hardware that I have, which is a really nice laptop that's great at doing things like, you know, running a lot of programs at once, but it doesn't do great with graphics. It is not a graphical computer. And you can tell by my sound and video quality, it's not what it was designed for. So, oh well, it's good enough for now. All right, but thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.